Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I'm George. We're all George. So, happy Monday. Welcome to another Market Open stream. Today, we got a lot to talk about. A lot of floodgates are opening in regards to Bitcoin buying. So, are there huge moves ahead? Let's talk about everything that's happening today, what to expect this week. There are some major factors. So let's do it, guys. Welcome. We're starting out the day. Not bad. 1067. Bitcoin has come up a little bit from yesterday. Seems like Asia was buying. And we are right now starting out pretty green with the US market. Now, last week, of course, because of the war situation, things did come down a little bit. But it does seem like Wall Street's shrugging off right now and buying back. I mentioned this yesterday, my Sunday walk video. This is unknown how this is going to go this week or how this war is going to go. But there does seem to be, a lot of attacks on both sides now. So don't know where this is going to go. Obviously, war is not a good thing. And as it relates to inflation, not a good thing because price of oil is being driven upwards. Okay, and whenever that happens, let's see here. There's an oil tab right here. Actually, oil came down a little bit, but you could see it topped out at $77 a barrel. So it did surge quite a lot last week. So I guess, this is the unknown for this week. How the war, if it escalates, will affect markets. But right now, the U.S. market is trying to shrug it off. And that's good. But, how it relates to inflation, that's the big question, right? Because this is just happening now. We do have several, economic data coming out. But the biggest one for this week is the Wednesday FOMC press conference. That's the one everyone wants to hear Powell say something good about rates and inflation and all that stuff, right? So that's coming on Wednesday. And right now, the prediction is we're not going to get any cuts. All right, 99.8% chance, no cut. For July, we have a 16.5% chance. And then September, we have a 57% chance, right? But unfortunately, I do think that Powell, he's going to be asked some questions and he's going to say, well, now the war changes things. If it wasn't for war breaking out, I think he would have a bigger, more clarity. But because of the war, I think that may set things back. So I guess we'll see. What happens there. Also, something totally unrelated is this. This was on the front page of CNBC. Trump is going to offer a smartphone and a mobile plan. A $499 smartphone and a new service that costs $47.45 a month that includes unlimited talk, text, data, as well as telehealth and pharmacy benefits. He's just getting into all these industries. I don't think the other pharmaceutical companies, all the telehealth companies, all the mobile companies are going to like this. Yeah, I'm just reading into it because this is so new. I thought acting presidents couldn't have their own businesses. I mean, in his first term, he said he had to give away or sell off all his business or give it to his kids because he became president. Seems like that requirement has just gone away. Where did this come from? Why does he need to offer a mobile phone? I have no idea. No idea. Why not integrate a crypto wallet in there and then have Trump coin loaded on every single phone? That would actually make it sell a lot better. You know, all the crypto guys already love what's happening. You know, if he did that, that'd probably be the most popular phone ever. It has nothing to do with anything. I just thought it's funny that it's coming out. So, you know, we'll get one in September, I guess. All right, moving forward, ETFs still show that inflows are massive. On Friday, even though it wasn't so great for Bitcoin, we still had a $301 million inflow. So again, when I'm talking about floodgates, right, we got so many sources that continue to buy hundreds of millions of dollars of the Bitcoin, or I should say more like billions. Because if you add up last week, it was over $1 billion. And today, Metaplanet also said that, hey, they purchased another 1,112 Bitcoin. They have increased their holding to 10,000 Bitcoin. That is a $1 billion buy. Metaplanet is no longer playing like second fiddle to Saylor in terms of their buys. He's buying just as much now. Each one of their purchases, the last purchase was 1,000 Bitcoin. Now they're upping it to 1,100 Bitcoin. But the thing is, they can continue to do so because their stock is literally the hottest stock there is. In fact, when they announced that buy, their stock jumped over 30% immediately. So obviously, Japan loves what Metaplanet's doing. Every time they announce a big buy, their stock goes up, and then they can issue more shares, sell off, buy more Bitcoin, and you can see how it goes and goes and goes and goes. They're following Saylor's footsteps. MicroStrategy or strategy was like that last year. It went on a tremendous, almost 1,000% run because of the same strategy. And Metaplanet is seeing the same thing. But that's a huge buy. And then you know what? Saylor's like, yeah, I'm not going to let them have all the fun. Saylor also bought 10,000 Bitcoin at over $1 billion. So things are going to continue. All the buying are going to continue. They're not going to stop. This is why Bitcoin is so strong. It's so obvious. A lot of people keep continuing to ask me, well, why are the alts so weak? Why Bitcoin keeps going up? Why the dominance keeps going up? Well, you have people that are buying billions every week. You just don't see the same thing yet with alts. You don't see the same thing, but that may be changing because there are some big news I'm going to share. But this is the reason. Bitcoin is extremely, extremely strong because you have so many faithful companies, investors, countries. Now Pakistan, you know, they might be getting involved. They actually had a meeting with Saylor, or at least their guys did, okay? So now you got countries getting involved too, right? With reserves, with ETFs, with just legalization around the world. Major adoption. Oh, by the way, speaking of Trump Media now also gets the green light from the SEC to buy $2.3 billion worth of Bitcoin. They raised $2.3 billion, and now they're buying $2.3 billion worth of Bitcoin. Again, billions. Billions upon billions upon billions every single week. That's why Bitcoin is so strong. Not going to stop. So, a few more things. Accumulator address demand growth. Basically just showing accumulation addresses. And you could see how since January, you know, we did down a little bit. January was kind of like our mini altcoin season, mini peak. and we come back down from there, but then now we're like right back up. Well, it makes sense because Bitcoin already broke through its previous high. Alts have not, but still, accumulation addresses are going upwards. You got whales, man, this is just astounding to look at. The number of whales that have come in since the beginning of July or January, astronomical. That's why you got to grab a piece before it's all gone. That's what it's showing. And you know, in terms of our movement, there are still a lot of people, a lot of TA analysts that's trying to predict when we're going to break out. A lot of people have been, you know, looking at the Weckoff accumulation pattern, and you know, a lot of times you look at it, we are moving the same way. Sometimes not exactly, sometimes a little bit longer, sometimes a little bit shorter, but overall, it makes a lot of sense. You know, Weckoff accumulation, if you're not aware, someone from Wall Street came out with it and realized that Wall Street itself likes to play games, manipulate people, and through this pattern, that's how they do it. They try to fear people out, they accumulate, and then they allow things to pump. And we have seen this before in previous cycles with Bitcoin. And it was done very easily before because we didn't have billions upon billions being bought every week, and it was mostly just whale and retail driven. Now it's a little bit different, but you know what? It doesn't stop those Wall Street guys to continue to play those games. We see it all the time. We just have to, it's hard to recognize. We just have to see if it's happening. And this one is showing we're done with this phase D. And the next phase is when you allow things to move. And there has been other charts that show, yeah, next stop, 120, 130, 150. That's the next leg up. We're all waiting for it. But all these charts are showing right around the corner. Especially, again, you just, if you don't, you know, you can't, I don't believe you could just rely on charts alone. But if you look at all the buying, billions upon billions every single week, that's going to cause something to happen. Here's another one that shows we're breaking out of this giant bullish megaphone pattern. And the next stop, 180,000. Maybe that's the top for this cycle. Maybe we don't hit 200,000. Maybe we don't hit 250,000. But 180, I don't think anyone's going to be complaining. That's still a really high target. Although I do think we will go higher than that. We'll see. We'll see. Now, speaking of the billions upon billions coming in, Solana. Solana seems like they're about to get their ETF. Multiple stories broke that the SEC has reached out to issuers requesting them to submit updated documents for Solana ETF to include staking. Wow, so the Solana ETFs, which has been pending for a while, could be pending because now they're trying to integrate staking within. This is something that they're still trying to do with Ethereum. So if they come out with it right off the bat, that's going to give a huge advantage to Solana spot ETFs. And if they include staking, that means there'll be dividends being paid if you hold on to these ETFs, I'm assuming. But that's huge. You got 6 that's pending. BlackRock's not in there, but I think they're going to get in pretty soon. And if this comes out, this happened before. When the SEC asked issuers to like update documents, right before Bitcoin ETFs came out, this is what they did. Same thing with Ethereum ETFs. People didn't think that Ethereum ETFs were going to come out anytime soon, and then boom, they just came out right away. So Solana ETFs could be out right around the corner. And if so, maybe not billions upon billions right away, but as the bull market moves forward, we will see a lot more institutions come in. And we already have private companies like Soul Strategy that has bought hundreds of millions of sold. And you're going to see a lot more of that. I think that's very, very positive. That's coming up. All right, what else is coming up? Cardano, Charles Hoskinson, is confirming that they're going to go all in with XRP integration. Interesting. This is like a relationship no one really thought was a priority, I guess, or even on the table. But this kind of came out from a tweet from us. Okay, so we put out a clip of Charles, talking about just talking about a lot of things. Okay, building treasury, stablecoins, Bitcoin, DeFi, all these things. And then someone replied, hey, any progress on the RLUSD integration? Because there was talks about integrating Ripple's new stablecoin into the ecosystem. And then Charles responded to that saying there's a whole XRP package with the Glacier drop, Lace wallet support, XRP DeFi, and real USD talks. So that's like everything. So Charles is seems like going all in on XRP integration, which isn't a bad idea. Like I said, XRP Army, Cardano, I don't know what you call Kardashians. I don't know what you call Cardano people. Kardashians, I guess. Two of the strongest armies out there, the strongest holders out there, right? And you combine the two, that would create an unstoppable force. So it makes sense. We'll see. We'll see what happens there. What else is there? Vietnam making history by legalizing cryptocurrency. Like I said, sometimes these countries, they don't have to build a reserve right away, but just making things legal is big. So that is coming. Hong Kong has a meme strategy company that's adding 2,400 Solana and 1 Bitcoin to their treasury. That's awesome. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. There are a lot of things happening, guys. A lot of things happening. Like I've been saying in my videos, you just got to be patient. You got to hodl and DCA. I did see this, though. In terms of hodling, a lot of you guys always ask about wallets. This is the thing. Okay, so this person buys some kind of cold wallet through TikTok, and turns out that wallet, was compromised. Whoever sold it already, took out the private keys or recovery phrase or whatever, and the guy lost $7 million in crypto. Right? So if you are going to buy a wallet, make sure you get it from an official source. If you go download it, make sure you download it from the official source, like Phantom, MetaMask, Rabby, whatever. But if you go buy it, make sure you buy it from a legitimate source, from the manufacturer directly. So that's why I do have a tools section on CryptosRUs.com. You go to wallets, you get a ledger, you get a tangent, you get, something official from their website. You definitely don't want to purchase a wallet from TikTok. You just don't know where that's coming from. And a lot of people argue you don't want to buy a wallet from Amazon either, because you don't know if they've been tampered with. Whenever a third party gets involved, usually a bad idea. You want to get it straight from the source. That's it. All right. Let's see. Today, the market's doing very well. Shrugging off the war. Let's see. Oh, my God. Circle up 20%. The other big thing is tomorrow, the Genius Bill Act is being voted upon. And all signs are pointing, yes, it's going to be approved. Man, Circle going absolutely bonkers. It debuted at $31, and now it's at $159. 35 billion market cap. That's insane. Robinhood also having a good day. Coinbase having a good day. MicroStrategy. You know, the thing about MicroStrategy is not moving anymore. You know, you hear about Metaplanet, their stock going up like 30% a day. Unfortunately, strategy is not seeing the same kind of growth these days. But Circle is definitely winning right now. But yeah, it does look like the Genius bill will pass tomorrow, and then it goes to Trump to sign. And it seems like it's good to go. All right, let's do some Q&A. Iggy says, now I understand why Circle didn't take XRP's weak offer. That's true, because the market cap of Circle is now 35 billion. I think XRP, even though Brad Garlinghouse denies it, offered 6 billion, and I think they may have upped it to 11 billion. But yeah, that would have been a big loss had they taken that. I mean, this is huge. I don't know if this is sustainable. At some point, they're going to come back down because they went up so much recently. But that's just almost as big as Coinbase already. Reza, I appreciate that. You know, I'm trying to do things differently with the Sunday Walk. Sunday Walk's the same, but differently from my live stream. And the Ask George is a new one. Although the Sunday Walks have not been doing that well recently. I don't know if things have been a little boring, complacent maybe. But trying to offer different perspectives over the weekend. Why does no one talk about injective ETF filing? Probably because it's not going to be passed. You're not going to have like 100 ETFs. In my opinion, not this year at least. Only the big ones, the ones that actually have institutional interest, will get ETFs passed. And I didn't even hear about injective getting a filing. Ethereum up 2630. Not bad. Can I get back up to 2800? So we up a good amount. XRP having a big jump today. That's great. XRP's been kind of stagnant recently. Solana had a pretty big jump yesterday, so that's good. You got Uniswap that's recovering big way, 10% because again, the Genius bill. Did I order Solana phone? No, I didn't. It was sold out already. I appreciate that. Thank you. Dynamics, I don't have a lot of thoughts about H bar right now. Getting a little move right now. Yeah, I think right now, I think Iggy has a point. If Circle skyrocketed this hard, imagine when the bill does pass tomorrow, what that could do for an entire industry. It could be a big catalyst. I mentioned my Sunday walk video. There are 3 catalysts to look forward to, right? Genius Bill being one, FOMC meeting being another, and then secretly there's like a treasury auction on Thursday. And last time that failed, it also helped move Bitcoin. So there are a lot of catalysts this week that could potentially move things in a big way. Oh, 107. And just like that, we're back to 107. Does the Tesla FSD roll out to all existing Teslas or just recent one and latest tech? There's different versions. It depends on what hardware you have. If you have like hardware 3.5, you don't get the same FSD as hardware 4. So the Cybertruck and the new Model Y, they have the most advanced hardware because they have a camera facing forward. The Model 3s do not. The new X and S that was just announced over the weekend, they now have new cameras. Those upgrades were kind of weak. I don't know. Tesla should just get rid of the X and the S at this point. They upgrade just a few little things. Price hiked both by 5,000. I mean, they don't sell well already. I don't think these upgrades are going to make them any better. Quinton, congrats. The new Model Ys do look quite nice. Quite nice. I think Tesla needs to come out with a better version of the X. Something that is good as the Cybertruck, but not in a truck form. Like a big 3-row electric SUV. If they can make that, that'll be the most popular car they sell. It'll be even more popular than a Y. I don't know why they don't just upgrade the X. Make an extended frame for the Y and then make it into the new X. I don't know. Yeah, the X is just way too outdated. It's been out forever. I did not sell my X. I ended up trading my G-Wagon. I got what I wanted. I got an LC 500 convertible, and I've been driving that around the last few days, and it's amazing. I love that car. What are the chances of the Cardano ETF? I think it's pretty good. I would say I think the Sol ETF's coming next. That could be any day now. And then XRP ETF. And then right afterwards, I would say it would be probably like Cardano ETF. I think Cardano's going to get their ETF this year. No, I traded a straight trade for the LC 500. The same price. Nice little push upwards. Circle still going crazy. Coinbase ain't doing too bad either. Coinbase at a 64 billion market cap. Robinhood at 66. Hood and Coin are both neck and neck. And then you got like, where's MicroStrategy? MicroStrategy's at 85 billion. Do I think Beam can make a comeback? Yes. They're more focused on gaming, and gaming's not doing too hot right now. But they're altcoin season. There's always a chance. We need to get the Chinese cars in. We're getting ripped off here in Canada. Yeah, I don't know, like if Canada also have tariffs on Chinese cars. Is Pepe or Bitcoin worth buying right now? Bitcoin is always worth buying, no matter at what price, in my opinion. I don't know about Pepe. If I had to choose a meme to load up on it, it would be Pepe though. But, you know, I would always pick Bitcoin over Pepe. Oh, by the way, Bybit also came out with something. They're calling it a Buy Real or something. They're coming out a major DEX. I think it competes with Hyperledger, and it's gonna be on Solana as well. So that came out yesterday too. I don't know how popular it's gonna be, but it does seem like that's what a lot of sexes are doing. They're trying to come out with their own DEX with the liquidity of a sex, but it operates like a DEX. I don't know what that's going to do for like market makers or whale manipulation. If it's going to make things better or worse, or it's going to be the same. What do I think about Arrow? I'm not a big fan of Arrow. I'm neutral on them. I just don't think Arrow's necessary. Base and all the L2s, all their liquidity pools are on Uniswap, not Arrow. I still don't see the point of it. When the DXY goes down, Bitcoin goes up. Bitcoin doesn't follow the DXY. There's an inverse correlation. I did drive the Ferrari this weekend. I drove it yesterday or the day before yesterday. Finally took it out first time this year. Whenever I take it out, it always feels awesome because it's like I'm driving a new car because I only drive it a few times a year. So, it's amazing. Cat, it's like a dark metallic gray slash black with a red interior, a red convertible top, black wheels. It's awesome. Those guys away. Variable, thank you. Will the new 2026, 2027 electric Nissan Maxima be any good? I'm not a big fan of Nissans, and most people are not a fan of EVs, so I'm not sure that's going to do well. Have I heard of the Cost Project? No, I have not. I haven't looked at a new project in a long time. This, under $1 million market cap, down 22% today. Yeah, never heard of it. I think the Accord Hybrid Sport L is pretty nice. It is. The Accords are always solid. I love the old Accord with a 6-speed and that 2-liter turbo engine, but they got rid of both, which just really disappointed me. But all the new hybrids are meant to like supplement the power. So all the Toyota hybrids now make the cars more powerful. They're not just for fuel efficiency anymore. So I like that new trend. Honda back in the day did it and they got rid of it, and then I think they're bringing it back now. Arweave, is it dead or it might come back? I think Arweave still has a chance of coming back. They're still one of the bigger storage plays. And I did recently talk to someone, a project that stores their data on Arweave. So there are still dApps that are utilizing it. So yeah. Frank, changed my mind. Aerodrome, I've used it before with horrific results, and there's really no reason for Aerodrome. It doesn't need to exist when Uniswap exists. I know it's backed by Coinbase Ventures and all that stuff, and it did blow up before. People that made money, great, but there's no use for it. The liquidity is all on Uniswap. So even if you love Base, everyone uses Uniswap. All right, guys. Let's conclude. Man, Circle's still very strong. Overall today, looking like it's a pretty green day. Oil prices coming down. Wall Street's getting past this war, even though it could still escalate. I don't know. You can't really discount it. Trump is coming out with a $500 phone and mobile plan. I don't know if that's a good thing. But we always have more things happening in the space. Floodgates are opening. Tons of buying every single week. So stay strong, my friends. Things are going to get crazy. Smash the like, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys later. All right, tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Take care.